This is a recording that I made on October 2nd of 2018, and this is still happening, the ongoing noise and all the other weird harassment in this apartment. So I just wanted to let you hear this before I go into my new video, which is Stalkers and Harassers Need People Who Seek Their Approval. But here's the recording first. So you can hear that isn't normal banging, like work being done. It's more like they're trying to get my attention. And I really feel that they're trying to provoke me. So that was years ago now, and they're still doing it. So you start to look into, why would anyone do this? Well, part of it is that these people seek people who need their approval. They are the types of people who think that I would go to them and ask them why they're harassing me, as though I would need them to explain to me why they would harass me. The answer is simple. I don't need to ask that question. The reason they are harassing me is because they are harassers. So this would never be a question mark. So this is more like Jeopardy. The answer is they are harassers. Okay? And the question would be, why are they harassing me? And that's the whole point of this. They don't want to stop harassing me. That isn't the end goal. The end goal is for me to go to them and ask them why they're harassing me. The end goal is to try to establish some sort of connection or relationship. That is their end goal. And I refuse to give in to that. So that is why in the next video I will make, it will be about harassers need people who seek their approval. The whole other point of this is that I live in a fireproof building, and there is a definite echo. So when I first started hearing people talking about me and my family, I immediately knew that this had to be something where these are people in the area, because that's what happens. So it's part of why I think they wanted to push us out of this apartment. They wanted to make it so unbearable that we would just leave. And that was part of their strategy. And I put that up on Twitter under the Twitter handle at FashionFunFem. Bella Soul, Shamega Johnson. When that account was hacked, I used my personal account, which is called Shamega Johnson, and I used it to detail some of this process. I also used this YouTube channel to detail some of this process. So you can tell that this is something that they did to stalk and harass my mother and me. The problem with it is that it escalated to a point where it's just an ongoing daily thing. And I feel that someone has to be the grown-up. And that would have to be me, because I can't have any expectations on them. As I've shown you, and I'll probably put more pictures up over time, but I put up a picture on one of the videos of these people. And I feel that they targeted us because we are Black, we are women of a certain age, and they felt they could get away with it. That's plain and simple. But they also probably felt that we would be the types of women who would go to them and say, why are you doing this to us? We're the exact opposite. We are fighters. So they in all the course of all this yapping, constant talking, they mentioned something about us being their enemy. And that shows you their mentality. And I reverse it. Well, now you are my enemy. Anyone who thinks that they could get away with treating other human beings this way are disgraceful people, is a disgraceful person. And these are disgraceful people. And these are people who use their power for bad. If you have power, you should use it for good, the common good. But the worst person on earth would be someone who would abuse power and use it on people who are vulnerable. Black women, especially black women of a certain age, are consistently one of the most vulnerable groups in our country, let alone throughout the world. And we are the people who, unfortunately, aren't always believed, aren't always able to get the resources to fight back. But most of all, we are the people who have a pattern, unfortunately, of abuse, whether it be in the school systems, whether it be at work, out on the street. And that's part of why this is such a problem. Anyone with any sense of decency would understand that two women, 45 and older, would be the people you would least want to target. You would least want to harass, because we are already in a vulnerable group. But that shows you their mentality. So part of what I'm doing in getting these YouTube videos out is not only communicating this situation, hopefully making sure that other people going through this same situation do not feel isolated, but also putting a spotlight on the types of people who would do this and letting them know that they targeted the wrong two people. We are not going to stand idly by and watch them try to destroy our lives and what we've built in this apartment for over 23 years, soon to be 24 years. It wouldn't be worth it for me just to walk away empty-handed, but most of all, I will never let these types of people win. And to them, this is a zero-sum game. Their theory is that we will back down, roll up into a ball, and let them win. We will not do that. One day, a few weeks ago, or maybe now it could have been over a month or two, I just screamed. I just let it all out, all that frustration. I screamed and cried, and my mother came into my bedroom, and because I was under the covers, so my bedroom is situated so that no one else could really hear. But I guess with the noise and she knew I was dealing with this situation and I was so frustrated. She heard me. She came in. She said, "Did I hear something?" I said, and it took me a while to get myself together. But eventually, she realized that, yes, she did hear this. And we just started to joke around. So one of the things about that was I felt a complete release afterwards. I hadn't cried for a long time before that, and I haven't cried since. And I haven't really released it since. But by having that, I call it a cathartic release. By having that cathartic release where I yelled and cried, and I was under my covers and my head was under a pillow, so it was muffled, but obviously loud enough so that my mother could hear it. And it shouldn't have really been heard throughout the building. But if it was, it's okay. Anybody who is hearing this situation and the daily banging and the drilling and whatever else blabbering is going on would understand that this has been going on for years. And one of the things that happened after that is that I felt so much better. So what I'm trying to do with this video is that you don't need approval from other people to express yourself freely. Even if it means crying, even if it means shouting, even if it means yelling. It would be it's so much better to have that sort of reaction in the privacy of your own home, which unfortunately, because of this situation, I don't have privacy. I'm being illegally stalked and surveilled. But it's so much better to do that than to confront these people. And the worst thing you can do with these types of personalities is seek their approval. You don't need their approval. You don't need them to like you. You don't need them to give you brownie points or a gold star. They do not have the power to judge you. They are not the judge and jury of anyone. They don't have any superiority. And the most important thing for you to do is consistently remind them of that by ignoring them, by not letting them monopolize all of your time and energy, and bringing them down to size, because they're not better than anyone and they have no right to pretend that they are. So thank you so much for this video, for listening to this video, and I probably will upload a new video within a few moments. Thank you.